You think you understand why a Gemini goes quiet. You tell yourself it is just one of their moods, just another wave of overthinking, just their need for space. But what you fail to see is that a Gemini's silence is not a pause in the conversation. It is a verdict being written in invisible ink. Their quiet is not emptiness. It is 1,000 unspoken conclusions forming all at once. When a Gemini stops talking, they are not simply shutting you out. They are turning inward, studying every detail, testing your patterns, and quietly deciding your place in their life long before you realize anything has changed. On the surface, it looks harmless. They reply a little slower. Their laugh isn't as bright when you tell a story. That sparkle in their eyes when they used to share ideas with you starts to dim. You shrug it off. You call it stress, distraction, or Gemini being Gemini. But inside their mind, an entire trial is in progress. They are gathering memories like evidence, replaying the moments you dismissed their feelings, the times you took their curiosity for granted, the times you treated their words like background noise rather than a gift. Geminis are ruled by Mercury, the planet of thought and communication. Their mind is always moving, always connecting dots, always noticing what others overlook. So when they go silent, it is not because they have nothing to say. It is because they have already said enough. They realize that their words are not landing where they deserve to land. And if this description of Gemini energy already feels strangely accurate, take a moment to subscribe to Astro Gemini so you can keep exploring the deeper layers of your own sign and the people you love. Phase 1 is the observation period, and no one observes like a Gemini. They watch how you react when they share something vulnerable. They notice whether you listen when they talk about their dreams. They see how quickly you forget the things that matter to them. They store every inconsistency in a quiet corner of their mind. They are not paranoid. They are perceptive. They are reading you like a book, chapter by chapter, while you still think this is just casual conversation. You may believe they are drifting, but in truth, they are zooming out. They are looking at the whole story instead of the isolated moments. They remember the apology that never came. They remember the promise you broke and tried to laugh off. They remember the way you said you cared, but your actions moved in the opposite direction. As their internal notebook fills with these small betrayals, something inside them starts to shift. The flow of words slows down. The doors to their inner world begin to close, gently at first, almost lovingly, but with a finality you won't understand until it is too late. From your side, it might feel confusing. You check your phone a little more than usual. You wonder why their messages are shorter, less playful, less curious. You replay conversations in your head, but you only look at what was said on the surface, not what their energy was trying to tell you. They are not asking for more chances. They are watching to see whether you notice their withdrawal at all. To a Gemini, silence is not revenge, it is information. It shows them exactly who leans in when the energy changes and who simply drifts away. If you are a Gemini listening to this, you know that your silence is rarely impulsive. It comes after countless little disappointments that you tried to ignore. It comes when you finally admit to yourself that your mental and emotional energy is being poured into a connection that does not honor your depth. And if you are someone who loves a Gemini, understand this. When they stop sharing their thoughts with you, they are not being dramatic. They are protecting a sacred part of themselves. Before we go deeper, take a moment to ground this energy into something real. In the comments, share your date of birth and your zodiac sign, especially if you are a Gemini or have strong Gemini placements. Let Astro Gemini know who you are, so this message can keep mirroring your story back to you, like a cosmic conversation that never truly ends. Phase 2 is the silent test. This is where the Gemini does not announce anything. There are no confrontations, no dramatic speeches, no warnings, just space, just distance. Just a quiet shift that feels subtle at first and then suddenly impossible to ignore. They begin to respond later than usual. The jokes become shorter. The enthusiasm fades. They stop volunteering their inner world and instead give you the minimum needed to keep the conversation alive. On the outside, nothing seems extreme. On the inside, a test has begun. In this phase, the Gemini is watching how you move when their energy is no longer pouring into the connection. Do you lean in and ask if something feels different, or do you enjoy the quiet because it means less emotional responsibility? Do you notice their silence and meet it with care, or do you let it stretch into a permanent distance? For a Gemini, your response here answers questions you did not know they were asking. They want to see whether their presence in your life is truly valued or merely convenient. While you wonder what happened, they are reclaiming their mind. Gemini energy is air. It needs to move, to explore, to breathe. When they feel stifled or unappreciated, their spirit naturally drifts toward places where curiosity is welcomed. So while you are staring at your screen, waiting for their name to light up, they might be reading a new book, learning a new skill, writing ideas in their journal, or having deep conversations with people who genuinely listen. Their silence is not empty. It is filled with new possibilities, new connections, new mental worlds to explore.
This is often where the imbalance becomes visible. You start to feel their absence as a weight. The chat that used to be full of their voice now feels hollow. You find yourself scrolling back through old messages, trying to remember when things felt lighter. You wonder if you said something wrong, or if they simply got bored. The irony is that all along, they were giving you something priceless: their time, their ideas, their emotional presence. You only realize the value of that gift once it slips away. If this is resonating with you, whether you are the Gemini or the one on the other side of their silence, pause for a second and honor that truth. And if this perspective is opening your eyes, give this video a like so more people can understand the power behind Gemini energy. It might seem like a small gesture, but it tells the universe and the algorithm that these messages matter. During the silent test, Gemini is not trying to control you. They are not playing childish games. What they are really doing is watching what you reveal in the absence of their constant presence. Do you reach out authentically, or only when you need something from them? Do you show patience and emotional maturity, or do you spiral into accusations and pressure? Their silence removes the noise, so your true nature becomes clearer. For the Gemini soul, this phase is also about self-honesty. They ask themselves whether they feel seen, whether this connection adds to their life or drains it, whether their mind feels safe opening around you. They replay key moments, not to torture themselves, but to understand the pattern. Maybe you dismissed their feelings as too sensitive. Maybe you made jokes at their expense one too many times. Maybe you broke their trust and expected things to go back to normal too easily. Their silence is the space they need to decide whether they are willing to carry all of that forward. If you are watching this as someone who has felt that empty space after a Gemini pulls back, know that this is your mirror. This is your chance to rethink how you show up in your relationships, not just with Gemini, but with every soul who offers you their mind, their heart, their time. And if you were the Gemini, hearing your own behavior explained out loud might feel validating. You are not cold for protecting your mental and emotional energy. You are wise. Phase 3 is psychological control, but not in the manipulative sense people often assume. It is not about puppeteering someone's emotions. It is about a Gemini reclaiming control over their own inner world. When they decide to go silent, the most important thing that shifts is not your experience, but theirs. They stop letting your words echo so loudly in their mind. They stop replaying arguments and trying to decode mixed signals. They stop spending sleepless nights trying to figure out what they did wrong. Instead, they choose stillness. They choose clarity. They choose distance.
From your vantage point, however, this can feel overwhelming. Suddenly, the person who once messaged you throughout the day now responds with short answers, or not at all. The stream of ideas, jokes, and late-night conversations has dried up. There is only quiet. And in that quiet, you begin to hear something you had been ignoring: your own conscience. You may feel guilty about the way you minimize their feelings. You may feel anxious about losing their presence. You may feel confused, desperate, even angry. The silence becomes a mirror reflecting parts of yourself you did not want to see. Gemini energy has a way of occupying your mind without even trying. Their curiosity, their insights, their humor, all of it lingers long after the conversation ends. So when they remove that presence, it creates a vacuum. You find yourself thinking about them all day, checking their social media, scrolling through old photos or messages, wondering how someone could disappear so gently yet so completely. Their silence starts to control your emotional climate. You replay scenarios, you imagine what you would say if they responded. You create entire dialogues in your head trying to get closure that never comes. But here is the truth. While you are stuck in that loop, the Gemini has already moved into a different mental place. They have shifted their focus to their own growth, their own healing, their own expansion. This is where their connection to Mercury becomes powerful. Mercury moves between worlds, delivering messages from one realm to another. Gemini does the same inside their mind. They travel from old stories into new ones, from pain into understanding, from resentment into detachment. Their silence is the bridge. In this phase, their quiet is not icy, it is sacred. It is the sound of them rearranging their universe. They are choosing which thoughts are allowed to stay and which must be released. They are rewriting the narrative, no longer the person begging to be heard, but the person choosing where to invest their voice. When a Gemini reaches this level of inner control, there is nothing to argue with. They are no longer asking for explanations. They are no longer hoping you will suddenly understand. They have accepted who you have shown yourself to be, and they are adjusting accordingly.
If you have ever been that Gemini, you know the strange calm that comes with this decision. It is not rage. It is not dramatic. It is almost quiet inside your chest. You stop checking your phone so often. You stop overanalyzing every interaction. You stop blaming yourself. You begin to feel your own mind again, like coming home after spending too long in someone else's chaos. Your silence becomes your sanctuary. And if you have been on the other side, you learn something too. You learn that words can be taken away, that you cannot rely on someone's endless effort forever, that connection is not a guarantee, but a privilege. You begin to understand that the person who once seemed too talkative was actually giving you a rare and precious access to their inner universe. When that universe goes off limits, you finally understand what you have lost. Phase 4 is the final decision. This is where the Gemini has already made up their mind, often long before you realize it. Their silence is no longer a test or a temporary retreat. It has become a boundary, a line drawn with invisible ink that only becomes obvious when you try to cross it and find nothing there. They are not waiting for closure. They are not hoping you will reach out with the perfect apology. They have closed the chapter in their heart, even if the book is still open in yours. In this stage, they are not fueled by anger. They are guided by self-respect. They look back at everything they observed in Phase 1, everything they felt in Phase 2, everything they reclaimed in Phase 3, and they realize that continuing to pour their energy into this connection would mean betraying themselves. So they choose themselves. They step away quietly. They redirect their curiosity to people who listen, to projects that excite them, to paths that honor their complexity. The scariest part about a Gemini's silence is that they do not need anything from you to maintain it. No conversation, no explanation, no last battle. They can simply vanish in plain sight, present on the outside, but unreachable at the depths where connection truly lives. You might still see their posts, you might still get a polite reply here and there, but the warmth is gone. The emotional availability is gone.
The part of them that once shared secrets and dreams with you is now behind a locked door that will not open again. So, how do you handle a Gemini's silence if you are on the receiving end of it? You do not chase and panic. You do not bombard them with messages demanding answers. You do not try to guilt-trip them back into connection. Instead, you step back and reflect. You look honestly at how you treated their mind, their heart, their time. You ask yourself whether you truly showed up for them or whether you became comfortable with the idea that they would always be there, always understanding, always forgiving. Their silence invites you to grow up emotionally. Whether you take that invitation is up to you.
And if you are a Gemini, hear this clearly. Your silence is not a weakness. It is not cruelty. When it is used with self-awareness, it is a sacred shield. It is you saying, my mind is not a playground for people who do not value it. My heart is not a backup option. My energy is not an endless resource for those who give so little in return. You do not owe constant access to anyone who refuses to meet you halfway. Your silence can be your way of stepping out of dynamics that keep you small and stepping into connections that see your brilliance. Now, bring this energy into the present moment. If this message speaks to your soul, if it describes your story or the story of someone you love, share your date of birth and your zodiac sign in the comments. Let the Astro Gemini community feel your presence and recognize the patterns you are living through. There is power in knowing you are not alone, that other minds like yours exist, thinking and feeling at the same intensity. If you feel that this understanding of Gemini energy has helped you, remember to subscribe to Astro Gemini so you never miss the deeper readings, the hidden truths, and the astrological insights that can guide your relationships and your own healing. And if this video gave you clarity, insight, or even a little peace, like this video so more souls can find it exactly when they need it. Your silence, your boundaries, your decisions, these are not signs that you are cold. They are signs that you are learning how to honor your own worth. And if you want to hear everything the universe has to say to you, watch these other videos on our channel.